watching Channel Africa Conversations.
We are trusting God that by 2035, at least a minimum of 5 countries from Africa will be a first world nation. Minimum 5 will be a first world nation. We have all it takes. We have all it takes. All we just need is the willingness of our leaders, the willingness of the citizen to take charge of our destiny.
Hello and welcome to Channel Africa Conversations. I'm your host, Peter Ndoro. Today we are speaking to Dr. Ambassador Utchay Odims, a distinguished United Nations Youth Ambassador, leadership coach and Pan-African advocate. Now, beyond his entrepreneurial ventures, Dr. Odims has dedicated his life to empowering African youth, promoting inter-African trade and fostering unity across the continent. He is the Visionary Project Director of the National Youth Summit in Nigeria, co-founder of the Africa Women Impact Summit, and a key figure in initiatives aimed at uplifting Africa's future leaders. He joins us now to talk about his inspiring journey and the impactful work that he's been doing to shape the destiny of Africa. Dr. Odims, thank you very much indeed for joining us on Channel Africa Conversations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. I'm so glad to be here. And thanks for all the great work you do in Africa. Celebrate you.
Thank you very much. And we thank you for the work that you're doing, in particular, the work you're doing with youth and youth empowerment. And I want to start with the Youth Summit that you created. What inspired that? Because I believe that the attendance often more than 120,000.
Okay, great. The National Youth Summit is a project that my mentor, a man I respect so much, Dr. David, came up with the whole idea and shared it with us and all. Of course, I was the project director for the whole event, and it was actually simply targeted towards reshaping the minds of our young people to become better citizens, to become responsible for their own lives. Because as at the time when this platform was formed, there was a lot of funny things that were going on. You have a lot of young people involved in drug addiction, involved in all kinds of vices. The young people don't even see themselves as part of the country or even part of the continent. Everybody wants to run away to Western countries, want to do all that. And we're like, okay, great. Why don't you come up with something that can actually help Africa? So when we now came up with that particular stuff, the National Youth Summit Africa, when we came up with that, we looked at 3 major areas that can transform any young person, anybody globally, 3 areas. So what we seek to achieve through the National Youth Summit movement is, number 1, we train the hand, the heart, and the head. Just 3 things. We don't do any other thing outside of this. Now, the hand is all about skill. We train every young man to have a skill and all. One youth, one skill. What it means is that no matter how you want to reach for a miracle and all, you must have a skill before God will even bless anything. Even in the Bible, it says God will bless the works of your hand. It didn't say he will bless the work of your witch. No, witches cannot become horses. That's the gospel truth. No matter how you like, witch. So we train the hand, give them skills. So at the National Youth Summit, we take our time to train people in 12 major areas: ICT and technology, train them in government and policies, leadership, train them in vocational skills, things that you can do to make a living. And also, we now train the hearts, the hand, the heart. Now, the heart is the compartment where you have the mind, the will, and the soul and all. Most of the things that people do and all, they all emanate from here. Most times, before you act it out, you will it before you act it out. So what we do, we speak to their conscience, speak to their minds, work on them, their mind, help them to see, to know who they are, and make them understand that whatever they are doing is wrong, and they need to toe this path, and everything. And vision is very powerful. Vision is very, very powerful. When you give a young man a vision, it can deter him from getting involved in all kinds of evil and all. So we give them vision. Vision, a preferred picture. A vision is a preferred picture. Vision is a preferred picture of a better future. So we give them vision, we cast vision to let them see, hey, you can be better than who you are today and all. So we appeal to their mind, appeal to their will and the rest of it. And from there, we now give them what they call intellectual, work on their intellectual capacity. So what we do in intellectual capacity is to put in all the intellectual stuff, all the things about academics and all the rest of it that can better them and all. But if you exclude this part, no matter what you put here, forget about it. This one is like a controlling factor. This is where the drug addiction, all the things, this is where you appeal to their conscience. So we take out a lot of time working on their hearts and all. And it now affects both their head, intellectual capacity, and their hand, which has to do with skill. And God helping us, a lot of success. We recorded a lot of success. Most of the people that we train now are in government. They are doing well. Many of them are outside the country. Many of them are in various places, and they are representing Africa positively. So that's what the National Youth Summit is all about. And we've recorded over 120,000. We've done all kinds of programs in stadiums and all. So that's what actually gives birth to all the things you see now. That has to do with Africa. We started this movement way back as at 2006. That's when we started it and all. When we saw the future of a better Africa, we're like, okay, you know what? Let's get our young people to get involved because they are the leaders of today. You know, they say young people are leaders of tomorrow. No, both today and tomorrow. That lie of future leaders, that's a lie. Today, because we have a backlog in Africa of like 3 generations. Yeah, we have a lot of young people in Africa that are supposed to be in government, that are supposed to be leading, and they're telling them they're the leaders of the future. Many of them now are 50. They're still hearing you're a leader of the future. So when will that future come? Is a big lie in Africa. We're like, you know what? You are leaders of today. 20-something, you can lead. 31, 35, you can lead. You can make an impact. God has given you that grace to make an impact. And that's practically what the platform is all about. And that's the drive. And that's what we're working. So for the Africa we want, for us to realize and see the Africa we want. Yeah.
So the National Youth Summit is one of the platforms. The other that you have to champion the causes of young people is as a UN Youth Ambassador. Tell us about the work that you've been doing there and what kind of impact you've had in terms of championing the causes for young Africans.
Okay, great. During the course of doing all this, that's when I was made the youth ambassador for the UN and all, based on the impact that we make. That was way back a long time ago and all. And yeah, that helped to propel us. We started doing stops in various countries in Africa, Ghana, Namibia, different places to do what we do. So it was something that actually gave us more impetus and more opportunity to do more. And in 2015, we had the opportunity to get into the UN. We mingled with all kinds of people, talked to a whole lot of people, met all kinds of leaders from different, all over the world, and it was interesting. So that's just it. It's just everything is just tied towards the impact for the Africa we want, to make Africa a better place at the end of the day. So that's just what that is all about. It just prepared us to do more practically. Yeah.
I know that one of your passions as well is to develop inter-African trade and economic development. And one of the vehicles is working with women. You co-founded the Africa Women Impact Summit. Take us through that and what it does and what you're hoping it will be able to achieve.
Okay, the African Women Impact Summit is a platform that we created. That was a couple of years ago. While we're doing the whole stuff for the youths and all, we looked at it critically. We're like, okay, all this stuff we're doing, and is there any area, anything that we need to add to what we're doing to increase the momentum and to make this thing better? So that was in Ghana. We had a meeting with some great leaders, people that are making impact. Because we have like a group of us that are actually taking charge, making impact in various countries and all. And we're like, okay, hey, how do we increase our impact? How do we make our impact felt the more across Africa? And while we're doing all that, we just realized that there's one particular demography that we didn't include. Yeah, we included it, but we need to pay more attention to it, which are the women. Yeah. So we're like, okay, oh, that's the truth. Because the truth of the matter is that every man is under the influence of a woman. from the day you are born until the day you die. It's either your mother, of course, your mother give birth to you, your mother will look after you. After, the next thing is your girlfriend. After girlfriend, wife. After wife, you have your grandmother. You have until the day you die. Every man is on a difference of woman. So we're like, okay, let's get in this critical demography, because to a large extent, a lot of women are not. They don't have the voice. They don't have the voice. Most women in Africa don't really have the voice. Okay, how can we make the voices of women more prominent and get them gender inclusion of our women into the political space for us to achieve Africa we want? So we're like, okay, great. Let's create the platform. That's how the AFIWIS, the Africa Women Impact Summit platform, came about. And believe you me, it's been wonderful. Just within a space of a year, yes, less than 2 years, we've been able to train about 3,500 women in various skills. Artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, digital marketing, in partnership with Microsoft, and also in partnership with all agencies, other training organizations and all. So we're training them in different areas on how they can use their hands to create wealth, how they can actually use their intellectual capacity to create wealth. It's been interesting. I mean, a lot of women have been empowered. So in the African Women Impact Summit platform, there are 3 things we pay attention on. We pay attention, number 1, on what we call gender inclusion, very important. The second one is leadership, very important, to help women see that, hey, you are a leader. No matter what you're doing, you are a leader in your sphere. Don't let anybody talk down. Don't let no man talk down on you. Don't let anybody feel that, hey, you cannot attain this political position, or you cannot be this or the other. So what we do, we bring women that are inspired, women that are doing well, women that are professionals in their own right, doing well in their field, to come talk to these women for them to understand that, hey, you can be who you want to be. And by God's grace, it's been wonderful. The likes of the Vice President of Afrezin Bakawani, she's been to our events, Minister of Labor in Nigeria, of course, Farid Gurib Fakim, former President of Mauritius, she's actually been spoken in our event. Vice President of Liberia, Taylor, it's been great. Great women across Africa. They are coming to speak to these women. And the last thing we do on the African Women Impact Summit platform is what we call womanomics. We call it womanomics. Womanomics is a term it can be explained as economic empowerment of women. It's called womanomics. So what it means is this, is that you are not complete as a woman if you don't have economic empowerment. You know, the normal thing in Africa, most African countries, this, when a woman grows up, she finishes school, or even if she didn't go to school or whatever, at the age of 20 something thereabout, parents will start telling the person, get married, and whatever. You just marry and come into the man's as a property and start giving birth like poultry. God did not plan for you to be a poultry, just giving birth. No, there is a purpose for every woman. And the earlier we allow these women to make their contributions in the global space, in the African space and all, in our continent, the better. Because what happens is that it now helps us to go faster. So it means, what it simply means is that Africa has been functioning with half engine. Yeah, because the man and the woman, bringing in the women, we increase our impact. So any nation, any country, any civilized society that is not bringing in their women into the political space, into the technological, into the various areas that can actually better their continent, it's making a mistake. So our women have a major role to play. So that's what we started championing. And by God's grace, right now, we've done a whole lot of events, a whole lot of training and all. And we are still doing it. The African Women Impact Summit is actually on and doing great things. This year, towards the end of the year, we're going to be coming up with another major program. We're going to invite women from all over Africa for that particular event. So there are 2 sets of people that can give us the Africa we want. Take my word for it. 2 sets of people. Number 1 are the youths. Number 2 are the women. That's the truth. If we pay attention on these 2 demography, believe you me, our young people have a lot to offer. When we pay attention to this demography, we will surely have the Africa we want as fast as possible. I've said it over and over again that we are trusting God. What we're doing right now on trade and everything, we are trusting God that by 2035, at least a minimum of 5 countries from Africa will be a first world nation. Minimum 5 will be a first world nation. We have all it takes. We have all it takes. All we just need is the willingness of our leaders, the willingness of the citizen to take charge of our destiny. I'll stop there for now.
That's a powerful, powerful message. And you keep saying the Africa we want. Of course, this is one of the mantras of the African Union. As a Pan-Africanist, share with me your vision for Africa's unity and development. What do you see?
I mean, there's no better time for us to do that than now. That's the gospel truth. I mean, one of the major things that have been hampering the growth of Africa, one of the major things that have been giving Africa snail speed, I mean, ridiculous speed. We don't even have speed. We're crawling right now, is simple unity. There's no unity. Unity among the leaders. Yeah, unity among the leaders. There's something that usually say and all, which is everything rises and falls on leadership. That's the truth. Rise and fall on leadership. The earlier that our leaders take charge, the earlier that our leaders take their place and whatever, that's when we start faring well. Africa has not fared well when it has to do with leadership. We have a few leaders that are doing well, just a few of them, and all and everything. So you notice what's happening. Everybody in Africa, the leaders in Africa, are all trying to connect themselves to the. Everybody's trying to connect themselves to the international organizations, international foreign countries and all. But looking at us as an African continent coming together to do things with ourselves and whatever is terrible, and everything is really terrible. That's one major problem that we have in Africa and all. You see, a lot of African leaders don't do things amongst themselves. Yeah, it's a big problem. Everybody wants to. In fact, there's something that we were discussing the other day. It's easier. It seems easier. A lot of people in Africa believe that it's actually easier to go to the European country to buy things, buy goods and services, go to China to buy goods and services, than to patronize our own neighbor. Our own neighbor. In fact, people from Nigeria believe it's easier to get things from China than to go to Liberia, which is less than 2 hours away from Nigeria, to buy goods and services. People believe that it's better to go to China than to go to South Africa, that is our neighbor here, to get stuff. And that is ridiculous. So the African leaders need to wake up. They're actually mortgaging the future of our young people. Now is the time. The unity is not there. The cohesion is not there. The koinonia is not there. Every one of them talks individually. Many of them tilt towards their colonial masters. Colonial time is over. We are done with colonialism. When I hear people say what the colonial master did, what they did not do, no, those times are over. It's time to build. Leaders in Africa need to wake up. Our leaders, our presidents, our leaders need to wake up. I mean, looking at Africa, the population is growing. It's growing. It's growing. It's in fact with an alarming rate. And the earlier we wake up, instead of going to have a disaster in our hand, our young people will be jobless. They're already jobless and all. We need to wake up to the time. What am I talking about? Our leaders have to unite together. That's number one. And one of the major things that is affecting Africa right now is interconnectivity, trade connectivity in Africa. It's ridiculous. For you to travel to a place like Nigeria to Liberia, you are paying, in fact, it's cheaper to travel from Nigeria to UK with some airlines or whatever. Travel from Nigeria to Liberia like 2 hours, less than 2 hours journey. It doesn't make any sense at all. Interconnectivity is crazy. You have to fly to another country. At times you do like 2 drops before you get to where you're going to. Who does that? How do we move ahead by that? It's crazy. So we need that connectivity. We need to have that connectivity. I usually say this, that Africa is the Garden of Eden. Yes, Africa is the Garden of Eden. We have everything that it takes for us to survive. Everything. The truth is this, and that's the gospel truth. When you go to find out with facts and everything, majority of the mineral resources used to develop European countries came from Africa. Yeah. But look at how we are in Africa and all. All the mineral resources, the raw material, came from Africa. So what does that show you? It shows you that we have great potential. We have the mineral resources. We sure do have. We have oil. I was talking with somebody that is a financial expert. She works in the UK and all. So when she heard about the program, the Africa Ambassadors Economic Forum coming up in Washington on the 18th and all, she asked me a question. He said, what is one of the major things that people can bring into Africa that can actually add a lot of value there. I said, look at car manufacturing. I said the minimum wage in Africa, minimum wage in Africa right now is ridiculous. I think a country like Nigeria, for instance, the amount that Nigeria pay her workers is 70,000 naira. 70,000. That's the minimum wage in Nigeria at all. It's ridiculous. 70,000 naira as is less than $100. Yeah, it's less than $100. Yeah, in Nigeria. That's the minimum wage for somebody's sweat and energy in a month. Now, outside the country and all, of course, there's some countries that pay as much as $18 and all. If you break it down to a place like Nigeria and all, you find out that Nigeria is highly under. So I was not saying something. I said, you know what? Instead of paying $18 per hour and all, even if you use just $5, people in Nigeria to earn $5 and all, what it means is that people are going to give their heart, their soul. They'll be earning in millions and all. They'll work with all of their heart. And guess what's going to happen? The manpower in Nigeria can actually bring about total reduction of cost. Most times, it's the cost of manpower that makes things go up. We have the raw material. We have iron. We have aluminium. We have glass. We have oil. We have gas. We have everything. So it means that most of these countries, like Germany and all those whatever, they don't need to go look for oil anywhere. It's here. So what stops them from coming to manufacture a Mercedes-Benz in Africa? And you get all your mineral resources here. So what it means is that if an Escalade manufactured in America costs $100,000, manufacturing in a place like Nigeria or maybe Ghana or something, you can actually buy that same Escalade that costs $100,000 for like $35,000, $40,000 because labor is cheap in Africa. You see what it is. So African leaders need to rise up. Enough of taking our mineral resources and running away with it. No. Come and add value to the country. Open up factories. Employ our people. Labor is cheap out here. Our people are wonderful people. Africans are the most embracing and the most interesting people. I've not seen hospitality like it is in Africa. In South Africa, I've been in South Africa, hospitable. Liberia, hospitable. Ghana, hospitable. Namibia, hospitable. We love ourselves. We love ourselves as brothers and all, and the rest of it. But our leaders are the ones that are bringing all the division. We need to come together. Africa need to unite. When we unite together, the world will respect us. When we unite together, the Africa we want, we will have it. And when we unite together, we will make Africa great again. Don't forget the civilization started in Africa, Egypt. And now it's time for Africa. That's the truth. It's time for Africa now. The area we understand are better. Look at the other areas that the young people, the women have decided to be responsible, take charge in. Look at how good they are doing. Look at how well they are doing. I give you an example, entertainment. Right now, all over the world, take my word for it, Mr. Peter, Africa is number one in entertainment. Number one. Yes. I go to New York, I hear Nigerian song. I hear South Africans, I'm a piano. I hear all sorts. I go to Las Vegas, yeah. I go to the US a lot and all. I go to Las Vegas, UK, same thing. At Utchay, you hear our song there, playing and whatever and stuff. And they know our song. They know our song out there. We are doing well in entertainment. We are doing very, of course, our movie industry is rising and all right now. The only area where we have disaster, we don't have a hurricane in the US. They call it Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane. No, there's no Hurricane Peter. They've not added Peter to it. All kinds of names, all kinds of hurricane out there in the US out, all kinds of names. We don't have that in Africa. We don't. God has blessed us with wonderful land. We don't have. The area where we have earthquake and disaster is in leadership. Our leaders in Africa need to understand that the citizens see them as the natural disaster that they have. That's the truth. And they need to wake up. It doesn't take, it's not a rocket science stuff. They need to come together and say, hey, bro, we are tired of all this. Let's come together and build Africa. Not every year or every year or every season, every 6 months, we have all our presidents in Africa. I love what the president of Kenya said. He said he's tired of seeing Africans coming together like school children, entering a bus every time. They'll go to, Russia. They'll enter bus, go there, collect handouts. They'll go to America, they'll carry them like children to go and collect money, keep begging and whatever. No, Africa don't need aid anymore. We need trade. We need trade. Let's do trade. No aid. I'm so glad for the USAID support that was cut off. I'm glad about that. Africa to think of how to generate wealth for ourselves. We have all it takes. The beggarly mentality has ruined our continent, and we can't continue like that. African leaders need to take charge. We have all it takes. Let's grow our economy. Let's encourage our young people. Let's not stifle them. Let's not push them down. They are creatives. They are great minds out of Africa. Look at tech. Our tech guys are doing well. They are doing well. Our young people doing well globally and all and everything. Look at the medical sector. It's only in the area of leadership that we have disaster. Our leaders need to wake up. And there's an uproar in Africa right now. You saw what's going on with the coup happening in different countries and whatever. People are rising up to the time. It's not business as usual. Because when a man's time comes and all, the man will want to find every way possible to liberate himself. Once your time comes, you want to find it. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. The earlier the leaders wake up, earlier our civilian leaders wake up to the charge that it's time for us to grow Africa. It's time for us to eat Africa. It's time for us to leave Africa, marry Africa, and make Africa great again, the better for us. There's no better time than now, 2025. Let's wake up to the charge. Yeah. And what are we saying? Stop bringing aid to Africa. Do business with us. Aid has not helped us. All the billions of dollars that have been spent are unaccounted for. Of course, we see a lot of funny scam going on with USAID, going on and whatever and stuff right now and all those. So no, it has not helped us. We need to take charge of our destiny. We need to live up to the task. So that put our hands together to develop our continent. Africa is the Garden of Eden. Africa is blessed beyond imagination. God has given us every single thing that we need to survive. We don't need anybody to survive. We don't need. We are self-sufficient ourselves. But the earlier we look inside to tap the resources God has given to us, that is when we can actually have the Africa that we want. And let us all join our hands together. We are brothers. We are sisters. We came from the same ancestral lineage and all. A lot of insult has gone down in Africa. I feel very bad. I don't know if some people feel bad. When next thing they say they are banned your country, you are banned. For what? For what? For what? Let's respect ourselves. When we respect, nobody's going to ban us. Someone looks at our passport and they are insulting us. For what? For what? It doesn't make no sense at all. Why would they not disrespect us? When we are disrespecting ourselves, our leaders need to wake up. Leaders, you got to wake up. Presidents, governors, whoever you are, wake up. Let's wake up because we need to build our continent. And there's no better time to do that. We need to do that from now. Let's take it seriously. It's an agenda. It's a retirement plan. Let's build our continent that our younger ones will be proud of. Let's build our continent that people will be. I said it in Namibia when I went to speak at a conference in Namibia. I was invited. I told them something. I said, a time will come where people will be queuing up to get visa to come to Africa. Oh yes, they will queue up. Everybody wants to come to Africa because Africa will be a safe haven. That's the truth. The weather in Africa is beautiful. Come to South Africa, wow. Come to Nigeria, wow. Nothing is scorching, nothing is whatever. Interesting, good for the skin and all. All these people don't want to come over to this place. But when they see leadership, when they see our people take charge, that's when they can come. Nobody wants to come to a scattered place. Everybody wants to come to an already made place. I remember many years ago, before 1999 and all, Dubai was in a state. Dubai was in a state, a terrible state. But Dubai took charge of their destiny. Check from that time. In the 90s till now, Dubai is not a place that Americans want to come, UK want to come. Come on, what is wrong with us in Africa? Many people have done it. Dubai is an example. We can do it. We can grow Africa. We can make Africa great again to the anchor. But this time around, it's not based on colonialism. It's not based on brainwashing and all. No. It's time for Africa. God has given us everything that we need for life and godliness. Let's make this continent great. We have all it takes. Our leaders, wake up. Africans, wake up. Let's love Africa. Let's stop all the poverty of country. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Xenophobia, also some nonsense. We don't need that at all. Let's embrace ourselves. Someone from South Africa can marry to Nigeria. Why want to go for tourism? Visit African country. Why we always going to Europe? Why always going to this country? No. Let the money circulate amongst us in Africa and all. And in a short while from now, believe you me, Mr. Peter, we're going to come back again and celebrate Africa. We'll all be glad and happy for it. God bless Africa.
Dr. Odims, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so, so much indeed for joining us on Channel Africa Conversations.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
And that's how we come to the end of today's episode of Channel Africa Conversations. Thank you so much indeed for tuning in. Before I go, though, I'd really like to hear your thoughts about the conversations that we're having. Perhaps you can tell us the kinds of conversations that you want to see and who with. And all you have to do is share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms that are on your screen now. And in fact, you can start in the comment section of this one right now. We'd love to hear from you. Until the next time, though, take care.